We are finally down to the last service and nearly finished the server. The post service handles everything related to posting, commenting, and liking. It's not as complex as user service, but it still has a lot of logic and dependencies. This is a common constant that's used in the code. We use a similar constant in the client side. We reference multiple repositories here. Notice the newsfeed and comments have no public-facing service class, so their data is encapsulated here. Again, we send the notifications via the notification service and not by writing to the repo. This method returns the posts for the given user. If that user is us or a friend, it shows everything. If the user is a stranger, it will only find the public posts. We need the auth user so we can check if the requested user is a friend. If the user is a friend or it's my own posts, then we look for all the posts sorted by date. Otherwise, we only want the public posts, but with the same sort order of date. Once we have the data, we can just add the whole thing into a list and return that. This is pretty simple despite the verbosity. It allows us to implement client-side UI such as clicking on a user to see his posts. Newsfeed isn't just the list of posts for a user. It includes friends mixed in and can be organized in a unique way. That's why we separated it to a special entity in the storage. Most of the work in the newsfeed is done when we insert it into it, so there is not much left to do at this point. That's a good thing, as this method should be fast. The query does most of the work. We sort the results based on 3 criteria. Day means all the posts from today will come before posts from yesterday, no matter the rank. Rank lets us float the best posts to the top, and timestamp sorts within that. We build DAO responses like we did before. The next method is the actual post method that adds a new entry to the newsfeed's posts. This is all pretty standard stuff. We create a new post entity and fill it up based on the DAO. We then save this post to the database. Since the newsfeed is a separate entity, we now take the new post and add it there. When we go over all our friends and add the post to their feed, we return the ID of the newly posted article. This leads us to the implementation of add posts to newsfeed, which performs the addition to the newsfeed entity. This is again pretty trivial. We set the values and save the newsfeed entry. This is the day since epoch. It allows us to differentiate easily between posts made today and those made yesterday. We can probably do this using a JPA query, but sometimes saving the data we need is simpler. We can place a comment into a post using the comment method. A user can only post a comment on a post if it's public or by a friend. We need to protect that. We save the comment, then add it into the post and save that. We send out a notification of the new comment to the user whose post this is. I oversimplified again. A notification would go out to people watching the post and to other commenters as well, but for the sake of simplicity, I left those out. Currently, I limited like to posts only. It should be something that we can apply to comments and other features. It should also be pretty easy to create the more nuanced like emotions that Facebook introduced a couple of years ago. I wanted to keep things simple, so I avoided those. I also didn't provide a way to unlike, which in this case is taking back a previous like operation, not a negative like. This should be pretty easy to implement once you have like working, so I didn't bother going there. We just add the user to the list of likes if he isn't in the list already. We send a notification that the post was liked to the author. With that, we finally finished the service layer entirely.